First King chapter 8 and verse 27. First King 8 and 27. He lives far above all levels. Hallelujah. So God doesn't live in heaven. He doesn't stay there. I'm going to show you what heaven is to God. He doesn't live there. That is not his habitation. That is not his dwelling place. He lives far above all levels. Now look at First King chapter 8 and verse 27. But with God indeed dwell on the earth. Behold, the heaven and heaven of heavens cannot contain thee. What can you say? The heaven and heaven of heavens. So we have what we call the heaven. We also have the heaven of heavens, but cannot contain God. Are you following me, please? Teaching good this morning. The heaven of heavens cannot contain God. My God, this God is too big for the heavens and the heavens of heavens to contain. This God is too mighty for the heaven and heavens of heavens to occupy. The heaven and the heavens of heavens cannot occupy this God, cannot contain this God. That is why he lives far above all levels. Are you following me? Look at him. He said, but we God indeed dwell on the earth. Behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens cannot contain thee. How much less this house that I have builded? This was Solomon speaking, telling the children of Israel that this God cannot dwell in the tabernacle made with hands, because the heaven and the heaven of heavens cannot occupy the majesty of this God. Are you following me? Second Chronicles chapter 6 and verse 18. The heaven of heavens cannot contain this God. So I'd like you to eradicate the mentality that God is dwelling in heaven, because heaven was actually the creation of God. Heaven came out of God. Are you from saying? But he doesn't live there. He doesn't dwell there. I'm going to show you scripturally what the heaven is to God. Teaching you this morning. Look at 2 Chronicles chapter 6 and verse 18. What a companion scripture. But with God in verity dwell with men on the earth. Behold, heaven and the heaven of heavens cannot contain thee. And Paul said, out of the mouth of two or three witnesses, the word of God will be confirmed. You need to believe this. After showing you all this scripture, and you still find it to believe, you find it difficult to believe that God does not dwell in heaven. That means you will fall into hell. Because Jesus said unto them, you do hell, because you know not the scripture nor the power of God. The heaven and the heaven of heavens cannot contain God. It cannot contain God. This God is too big for the heaven, number one. Number two, the heaven of heavens to occupy him. This God is too big. He's so mighty. He's too gigantic. He's too tall. He's too wide for the heavens and the heaven of heavens to contain him. The heaven of heavens cannot contain this God. The heaven of heaven cannot contain this God. That is who God is. He only has immortality. He only has immortality. He doesn't dwell in heaven. He doesn't live in heaven. He doesn't tabernacle in heaven. You can't see God in heaven. He doesn't dwell there. That is not his address. That is not his dwelling place. Can we read this scripture again? He said, but with God, he verily dwell with men on the earth. Behold, heaven and heaven of heavens cannot contain thee. And we go to Second Chronicles chapter 2 and verse 6. Second Chronicles chapter 2 and verse 6. Rightly dividing the word of truth. Are you there? Can we read this one together like a man's choir? One to go. But who is able to build him an house? See the heaven, and heaven of heavens cannot contain it. Can you see? Who am I then that I should build him an house? Save only to burn sacrifice before him. That means the house that I built for him is not his dwelling place. Hallelujah. But is actually an altar of sacrifice. Are you following me? He's an altar of sacrifice. I actually built an altar of sacrifice for him. This was Solomon talking. That the house that I built for God was not his dwelling place. Hallelujah. But the altar of sacrifice. I actually built an altar of sacrifice for him, not the place of his dwelling. Did it go this morning? Hallelujah. So God does not dwell in heaven. He doesn't dwell in heaven. Now let's see what heaven is to God. Now, let's see the prophecy of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 1. The prophecy of Isaiah. Before we go back to our first Timothy chapter 6 and verse 16, let's look into the prophecy of Isaiah. In Isaiah 66 and verse 1. Hallelujah. Can you see? Thus says the Lord, the heaven is my throne. Now, what is heaven to God? Is throne. Hallelujah. What is heaven to God? Is throne. And the earth is my footstool. The heaven is the throne of God, but not the tabernacle of God. Follow me closely. The heaven is the throne of God, but not the habitation of God. Now, what is a throne? Or what does Isaiah mean by the word throne? That means the heaven is actually the seat of God. Are you from saying? That is where God is sitting. And the earth is actually the footmat or the foot rug of God. Are you following me, please? God lives in the circumference of himself. He doesn't dwell in heaven. Heaven is actually the seat where God is seated. Are you following me? So heaven is the seat of God, and the earth was his footmat or foot rug. Now, a king does not live on the throne. King actually live in the palace but sit on the throne. Are you from saying? So God lives in the circumference of himself, but is actually sitting on the throne called the heaven. Are we still the same page this morning? So heaven is actually the seat of God, where God is sitting. It's like a chair. Are you from saying? It's like a chair that God is sitting. So the chair of God is heaven. Is sitting on heaven. Are you from saying? And they made the earth his footstool, his foot rug, his foot mat. Are you from saying? He placed his leg, his foot on the earth. The earth served as the foot mat, as the foot rug of God. He doesn't dwell there. Did you know? Now let's go back to that scripture. Where does God dwell? Where does God dwell? I've said this in the previous teaching, but I'd like you to understand more. Are you from saying? And most of the things I'm saying now, I did not say so, in the first or the previous teaching. Now, First Timothy chapter 6 and verse 16. First Timothy chapter 6 and verse 16. God punished the devil. Hallelujah. Are you there? He said, who only has immortality, dwelling in the land. Where is he dwelling? Where is he dwelling? I can tell you, where is God dwelling? God is dwelling in the light. Definite article, not in the light. In the light, because that light is actually personality. That light is a person. So God is dwelling in the light, which no man can approach unto. Now, what or where is the dwelling place of God? The light. God is dwelling in the light. He's not dwelling in heaven. He's dwelling in the light. Heaven is his footstool, and the earth is his footmat. He's sitting on heaven, but he's not living in heaven. Are you from saying he's living in the light? God lives in the light. Who only has immortality, dwelling in the light. So the dwelling place of God is in the light. He's dwelling in the light. He's dwelling in the light. He's dwelling in the light. That is his residential home. Light is the residential home of God. Light is the habitation of God. Light is the dwelling place of God. He dwells in the light. Now, who is the light? 1 John chapter 1 and verse 5. Can we go to 1 John chapter 1 and verse 5? Who is that light? Teaching good this morning. Who is that light? We saw that God dwells in the light, which no man can approach unto. Now, who is the light? 1 John chapter 1 and verse 5. Look at it. This then is the message which we have heard of him. Now, what is the message that we have heard of him and declared unto you? That God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. Now, who is the light? God is the light. Who is the light? God is the light. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 16 we read. Who only has immortality, dwelling in the light. So we are saying that the dwelling place of God is in the light. God lives, tabernacle, reside, and dwells in the light. Now, who is the light? God is the light. Now, what is the message communicating? God dwells in himself. Listen, this is what theologians did not know. This is what scientists do not know. He is dwelling in himself. God is light, and is dwelling in the light. That means God dwells in himself. He is dwelling in himself. That is the mathematical expression of the dwelling place of God. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. That means God is not living in heaven. He is living in heaven. Now, where was he before he created that heaven? He is in the light. He is in himself. God dwells in himself. God lives in himself. God tabernacle in himself. The home of God is God. The address of God is God. The habitation of God is God. God lives in God. God lives in God. He dwells in the circumference of himself. He dwells in the arena of himself. He lives in the circumference of himself. The heaven, even the heaven of heavens cannot contain God. The only place that contains God is God. The only place that contains God is God. The only place that contains the majesty of God, the wideness of God is God. God lives in himself. is living inside the